Hi friends, thank you very much for clicking ABC Learning English Solution. Friends, today on this video we are going to discuss a complete question set for upcoming WBCS Preliminary 2024 exam. Friends, it's a question set of 40 important questions. Friends, I would like to request you to try to solve the questions yourself at first. And there is a scorecard you can see. If you get 35 to 40, it's actually excellent quality WBCS standard preparation, you can say. If your score is between 28 and 34, the score is very good. And if it is 20 to 27, it means your preparation is moderate. You need to practice more. And if your score is below 20, so you need a great practice, you need huge practice, or you can say need intensive practice. So, my dear friends, try to answer the questions at first yourself. And obviously, I have discussed all the questions and also the logic, my dear friends. So, without wasting time, let's get started. So, my dear friends, this is the first question. Choose the correct sentence. Actually, 4 sentences are given, and out of these 4 questions, 1 is correct, and the rest 3 questions are wrong. So, my dear friends, first of all, you go through the question and try to answer it at first. Then compare it with my discussion. Let's look at this. The question is, hardly had he reached the station, then the train left. Hardly had he reached the station when the train left. Hardly had he reached the station when the train. Hardly he had reached the station when the train left. Hardly did he reach the station when the train left. Friends, the first thing is that the sentence is started with hardly. So it is basically an adverb. So after this adverb, the structure will be inverted. That means had he, it is correct. Here it is also written hardly had he. This part is also correct. It is not correct. Hardly he had. That means it is assertive structure. We have to invert it. The next one, hardly did he reach the station. Hardly did he reach the station. This is also inversion, my dear friends. So this part is also correct. Now look at this. Here it is written then. Hardly is followed by when. Hardly is not followed by then. So this is not correct. Here you can see it is when. And here also you can see it is when. But what is the difference between these two sentences? Look at this, B and D. B is correct, D is also correct. But the fact is that here you can see two actions, and one action is dependent upon another. That means two actions are related. These actions are not cumulative past actions. One action is related to other. So the first action, obviously, it will be past perfect. So for this reason only, this part is correct. This is past indefinite. This is not past perfect. For that reason only, answer B is correct. Friends, I think you must understand the logic, and you must realize why this answer is correct. My dear friends, let's go to the second part. Identify the correctly spelled word. That means one word is correct and rest of the words are wrong. It's a spelling test. My dear friends, it is accommodation. Friends, one thing you must remember, for accommodation you need 2C, 2M and 2O. So look at this. Here there is only 1M. Here there is only 1C, 2C, 2M, O and O. So C is correct. Next, they are repairing the bridge. Choose the correct passive form. Friends, it's a voice change. So in passive sentence, the subject will be the bridge. Here the bridge, the bridge, the bridge, the bridge. For all the answers, subject is the bridge. Now look at this. Are repairing. That means it is present continuous tense. So it will be, as the subject is bridge. So after that we have to write down is, and as it is continuous we have to write down being, and after that repairing, the V3 form, third form of that means past participle form of repairing is repaired. So this structure is correct. That means is being repaired, and as it is they, so by them. This one is correct. Here you can see it is written was being. That means they have changed the tense. Friends, in voice change we cannot change the tense. It is present, activity is present, so in passive it will also be present. Here it is has repaired, it is also changed, so you do not take this. The bridge repaired by them, the first one, that means there is no change. It's a past indefinite tense, it is not passive, it is active. Friends, it is past indefinite tense, that is why you cannot take it. Friends, I think you understand. Next, select the correct meaning of the idiom burn the midnight oil. Friends, it is one of the most important for any kind of competitive exam. Burn the midnight oil. Actually, it's an idiom, and it means anything, any kind of activity if you are doing late at night. That means throughout the night you are doing something, that is also burn the midnight oil. It is not waste electricity, destroy something valuable, become angry. These are not the meaning of this idiom. Actually, it is the correct answer. Study or work late at night. Whatever you are doing late at night, you can call that I am burning the midnight oil. If you are studying, whatever you are doing late at night, you can write down in this way, I am burning the midnight oil. So this is the answer. Answer B is correct. Next, choose the sentence. Choose the sentence with correct subject verb agreement. Friends, it's a question from syntax. So here you can see each of the boys, the first question, each of the boys have completed. Friends, actually the subject is each here, and as it is each, these verbs should be singular, but have it is plural, so we cannot take it. Neither the teacher nor the students was. Friends, according to students, because it is close to the verb, we have to take the verb. So the students plural was, we cannot take it. Mathematics is my favorite subject. Mathematics is a singular one and is singular, so this one is correct. The quality of the apples are. Friends, here the subject is the quality. Quality we cannot count it, so we cannot write down R with it. So my dear friends, C is correct. Next, fill in the blank. No sooner blank space the bell rung than the students rushed out. Friends, here you can see rung, that means it is the verb third form of verb, past participle form. And obviously, for past participle, for past perfect tense, we should use had. So it will be had plus V3. Had is the correct answer. We cannot write down did here. If the sentence would be ring, then we could write down did here. But here it is rung, that is the third form of verb. Only it is used in passive voice and in perfect tenses. You have seen it. For that reason, had is the correct answer. Identify the part containing an error. Friends, we have to find out the error from this part. This sentence, neither of the two brothers are interested in politics. Friends, here you can see neither of the two brothers. Here two brothers, this is the object of the preposition of. So subject is neither. Neither is treated as singular, so here there is the problem. As the subject is singular, we should write down the singular verb, that is. So the sentence, the correct sentence is, neither of the brothers is interested in politics. My dear friends, this is the correct sentence. So the error is in this part, C, are interested. It should be is interested. Next, choose the correct synonym of obsolete. Friends, obsolete means, obsolete is a very important word. Obsolete means, suppose some of the things which we used this thing in a wide range, but nowadays we do not use it. Just like I can give you an answer. I can give you some examples. Suppose film of the cameras. Before some years, we used this in huge quantity, but nowadays it is not in use. You have seen before many years there were so many telephone booths. Nowadays these are not in used. So these are things which were used earlier, but nowadays we do not use it. This is the meaning of obsolete. So the synonymous word. So the synonym of obsolete is outdated. Outdated. It's not modern. It does not mean ancient. It only means some of the things which were used in huge quantity once upon a time. Nowadays we do not use it. This is the meaning. So we cannot take active. So outdated is the correct answer. Friends, the next question is, choose the antonym of transparent. That means which is not transparent. Transparent means which is actually transparent means clear. Transparent means clear, or you can see visible, from which you can see. Suppose a glass, you can see through it. That means it is clear. And if it is, suppose it is, you cannot see anything using this glass, it is called opaque. That means through this glass you cannot see the other side. It is called opaque. So the antonym of transparent is opaque. Select the correct indirect narration. Friends, he said, I shall return tomorrow. He said, I shall return tomorrow. So, my dear friends, here you can see we cannot change this one. He said, he told. We will not take it. I, that will be changed according to he. So, it will become he. He. The subject he. Okay. All the three places. The subject is he. This is correct. Next, shall return tomorrow. Tomorrow will be the next day. Here it is tomorrow. We cannot take it. Here it is the next day. It is not the next day. That means B. We have to choose the answer from B and C. Now, my dear friends, think what is there in B and C. In B and C, he said that he should return. Here he would return. Friends, sometimes we think that the past form of shall is should. My dear friends, it is not the fact. It is not the fact. Actually, this is not the past form, or we can say, as shall is modal, there is no past form of the modal. But in future indefinite tense, if there is future indefinite tense, there may be shall or will. And for shall or will, we write down would, not should. We write down would. So C is the correct answer. He said that he would return the next day. C is the correct answer. Friends, I think you understand the logic. Next, the teacher as well as the students blank space present. Friends, as well as friends, it is basically works like a preposition. That means after preposition, this is the object. So the subject is the teacher. That means singular. So our verb will be singular. This verb will be singular. Here only C is singular. Was, it is was, because where plural, have plural, are plural. So we cannot take this. So the correct answer will be the teacher as well as the students was present. Friends, there are some other words too. Here you can see these type of words. Instead of as well as, you can see together. You can see together. You can see together with. You can see along with. You can see but not. You can see but not. Friends, if you see these types of words are written, and these type of words are written between two nouns. So for that cases, the first noun, that will be the actual subject. This is the actual subject. That means this is not our subject. This is basically the object of this preposition, as well as, or together with, or along with, or but not. So my friends, you have to remember it. Choose the correctly punctuated sentence. That means we have to find out the punctuation. Friends, here you can see in question number D, after if there is punctuation, there is comma. Friends, if is basically a subordinating conjunction. After subordinating conjunction, we cannot put down a comma. It's a wrong usage. So this one is not correct. If I were you, there is, you can see semicolon. So semicolon is not used. Rather, we have to use only comma. So this is not correct. If I were you, there is no separation. That means there is no comma. There we should write down a comma after you, but it is not written here. In the first sentence, if I were you, then comma, I would not do it, full stop. Friends, this one is correct. Next, the phrase a man of letters. Friends, a man of letters, it's basically meaning from these letters you can see the person is highly educated. It means educated. So letters, these letters does not carry the letter which are sent by the postman. This is not the letter. This letter is actually A, B, C. So this is related to education. As a result, the meaning of these word, a man of letters, that is a scholar or writer. That means highly educated person. It's not a postman, not a typist, not an illiterate person. It's highly educated person, or or you can call it a scholar or writer. Friends, I think you can understand. Next, choose the correct preposition. He is superior, blank space, mean, intelligence. Friends, superior is always followed by to. Superior, inferior, exterior, interior, prefer. So these are basically adjectives, and these adjectives are followed by to. So we have to write down to. Identify the sentence with a dangling modifier. Friends, dangling modifier means, look at the sentence. Here you can see the flowers. This is the subject, looked verb, beautiful, that is adjective. For this part, the flower is subject, looked is verb, and beautiful is complement. This is the structure. And as walking through the park, it's basically a participle phrase because it is started with a participle. This is called present participle. And my dear friends, in present participle, you can see the verb is walk. So obviously there is a verbal force and it needs a subject reference. And subject reference or subject of this verb walk is the subject of the principal clause. So here the principal clause is the flowers looked beautiful. As a result, the subject is flower, the flowers. But my dear friends, you must see that. But the fact is that, friends, the flowers may not be the subject of walking because the flower does not have any kind of ability to walk. So this is called dangling. My dear friends, this is called dangling. Actually, walking, this is the characteristics of the human being. It is not the characteristic of flowers. Flowers cannot walk. You can study the other sentences. Look at this. You can study the other sentences. Let's look at this. Walking through the park, I found the flowers beautiful. Here, I is the subject, and walking, this is the human quality. So it can be done by I. That means the subject of the verb found here, it is I, and the subject reference of walking, that is I. So this is the correct sentence. The flowers looked beautiful in the park. Friends, there is no participle phrase or there is no extra modifier where we need to agree the subject and verb. I walked through the beautiful park. This is also simple sentence. This is also simple sentence, but there is participle phrase here. In these two sentences there is no other participle phrase, so there is no chance for dangling. So these two sentences are correct. Here this sentence is also correct, only there is one mistake here which is called dangling, that is this one. The main thing is that the subject of the principal clause, this is the subject, it will also be the subject of participle. But here, this flower, it will not be the subject of walking. That is why it is called dangling. So my dear friends, so option A is correct. And as per the question, identify the sentence with a dangling modifier. Where there is dangling, this one is dangling. Walking and the flowers, this is dangling. So A is correct. Next, choose the correct one-word substitution. One who cannot read and write. The person who cannot read and write, that is illiterate. Friends, novice, that is, it means learners. Literate, it means educated person. Barbarian, that means the wretched person. So the substitution or the synonymous is only literate. Next question, fill in the blanks. Scarcely had the meeting begun, blank space, the lights went out. Friends, hardly, scarcely, barely, rarely. Hardly, scarcely, barely, rarely are always followed by when. So the answer will be when. It is B. Next, select the correct transformation. He was too weak to walk. Friends, whenever you can see this combination 2 and 2, the meaning of this sentence is negative, but the structure is affirmative. Whenever you are converting into in other sentences, you have to convert it with so that. And in that part, you have to write down no. So if you can do it, your answer will be correct. So the answer will be he is so weak that he cannot walk. As there is present, so we have to use the present verb. So this one is correct. Why the rest of the three are not correct? Just look at this. He is so weak that he can walk. Here there is no negation. He cannot take it. He is weak enough to walk. Friend, there is no negation. He cannot weakly walk. Friends, it is not grammatical. This term is not grammatical. So the first one is correct. The main thing is that if there is the combination of TOO and 2, so we have to convert it into so that, and we have to add no in the that clause. Friends, I think you can understand. Friends, next question. Choose the correct meaning of ubiquitous. Ubiquitous, friends, it's one of the most important word, and it is very common for any kind of competitive exam. Friends, ubiquitous means the things which is present everywhere. Just like we are using smartphone now. Smartphone is present each and everywhere. we can use networking. So any kind of network, you can get any kind of network throughout the world, so it is present each and everywhere. It is basically called omnipresent. Omnipresent means the thing which is present everywhere, that is called omnipresent. And here the synonymous words of omnipresent is present everywhere. Friends, I think you can understand. Identify the correctly used conditional sentence. So we have to choose the correct conditional sentence. If he would work hard, he would succeed. Friends, in condition part, in two parts. So this is the principal part and this is the subordinate part. In subordinate part, there may be present tense, there may be past tense, and there may be perfect tense. In subordinate part, we cannot use would here, so this is wrong. Next for question 2, if he worked hard, he would succeed. Friends, this is the past form, and if it is the past form, we have to write down would. This is the correct sentence. Think about the others. If he works hard, friends, if it is past, then we have to write down will here, will. But here it is would, so it's not correct. If he had worked hard, friends, there is perfect. That means in the main clause we have to write down would have plus v3. Look at this. Here it is perfect, and here we have to write down would have, then third form of verb. This is the structure. This is called third conditional. It is second conditional, and the present one, this is first conditional. Friends, I think you can understand. Next, choose the sentence with correct article usage. Okay, so we have to choose where the article is correct. So European, it is written an European before European. Friends, if it is started with EU and it pronounced like you, so at that time we use a, not an, so it is not correct. He is a honest man, it's honest, that means H is silent here, so there it should be an, but it is written a. Now he is an MLA, this one is correct. Friends, MLA, whenever we write down MLA, this M is pronounced like this, EM. So E is basically vowel, so that's why we use an here. This is the correct one. And for the last one, if you see, here it is university. Whenever U is pronounced as U, at that time it is pronounced like this one, YOU. So Y is not vowel. That's why in this case we use A. And whenever U is pronounced like A, at that time it is vowel, just like umbrella. Then we use an. Friends, I think you can understand this. So we can say the correct answer is B, he is an MLA. Next, fill in the blanks. The jury, blank space, divided in their opinion. Friends, jury means a group of judges. Suppose these are judges. Whenever they are taking any unanimous decision, that means all of them are unanimous to take one decision. That means there is no differences in their opinion. At that time they are entirely working as one unit. At that time it is singular. Whenever they are divided, suppose this is their opinion and opinion is divided, that means some of the judges are saying that they support this part, some of the judges they deny. That means they are not unanimous. This group is saying yes, this group is saying no. That means where there is the differences in their judgment, or they are divided they are divided to take one decision, at that time it is plural. Here you can see, and for that only we for that situation, the words these help us to know, or the verb these help us to know whether it is singular or plural. From this part we cannot understand, but from the verb part we understand that they are not working as one part, they are working as more than one part. They are not unanimous, so obviously it is plural. Here only R is plural. Friends, the next question is synonym of meticulous. Friends, meticulous, it actually means careful. It means careful, but we have to find out the synonym. Friends, careless, it is opposite. Weak, friends, weak means the person who is very feeble, that means cannot do anything. Proud is a separate thing. So precise, actually precise means which is very short and which is very clear. So in this sense, precise is the correct answer here. Now choose the correct sentence. We have to find out the correct sentence from these four options. So one of my friends have gone to abroad. Friends, of my friends is the object of preposition of. So in agreement, this part is valueless. No need to use this part for agreement. Actually, the subject is one. As it is singular, the verb should be singular. But here it is have plural. We cannot take it. Has, it is singular. But here are, it is plural. We cannot take it. Where it is plural, we cannot take it. So the answer B is correct. 26. Choose the correct phrasal verb meaning look down upon. Friends, look down upon is a phrasal verb which means to hate. To hate. So here you can see respect. Respect means show gratitude to a person. It is not hating. Ignore. Friends, ignore means to avoid anyone, that is not hating. Observe carefully. It is just opposite. Observe carefully. That means we are taking care of something. It's not the correct answer. So related to hate is despise. Despise means to hate. So my dear friends, for lockdown upon, we can say the correct answer is hate. So my dear friends, the next question: had I known the truth, I blank space helped him. Friends, this is basically conditional sentence, third type condition. This is third type condition. That means this part is imaginary. For imagination, we use this type of sentences, and it is third type imagination. And my dear friends, for this part, for this subordinate part, we normally write down in this way: if I had known. Here it is v3 known. So this is the basic structure, but sometimes we omit this if and we invert this part. The same meaning: had I then v3. That means had I v3, it carries the same meaning if I had known. So if I had known or had I known, both are same. Actually, this is inverted. We have omitted if, and that's why we have inverted it. My dear friends, I think you can understand. And for that, we have to use the third conditional sentence, and that is the structure is would, then have, then v3. It is the structure. That means would have helped. Helped is written here. It is v3. So here we have to write down would have. Here you can see would have. Next, identify the type of clause. Friends, type of clause means actually the subordinate clauses are divided into three parts. One is called noun clause, another one is called adjective clause, and the next one is called adverb clause. So we have to find these clause whether it is noun clause or adjective clause or adverb clause. Friends, if you look at this structure, you can see one thing. I is the subject here. I is the subject. No is the verb, and the rest part, that is the object of verb no. Friends, as it is object, so obviously it will be noun or pronoun, because this is the activity of the noun or pronoun to be subject, object, complement in the sentence. But this is not pronoun, so obviously it's a noun. As it is a clause, it will be called noun clause. So here noun clause. This is the answer. Next, choose the correct voice change. Who wrote this poem? Friends, who, it is written by whom? By whom? By whom? Here, by whom? This poem, whom only. And next, wrote, that is the past form. So obviously we have to write down was or were, but the subject is not the subject. According to this complement, we have to choose the verb. Actually, it is singular, so was, and the verb 3 of write is written. So it will be by whom was written. By whom was this poem written? So here you can see was, and this is written. Friends, this is the correct one. By whom was this poem written? As it is interrogative sentence, so obviously after was we have to write down the subject. So my dear friends, the correct answer is this one. Here in B, you can see by whom this poem was written. It is not inverted structure. That means for question we cannot write down. Was should be before the subject. Next, this poem was written by whom. By whom should be placed at the beginning. Whom wrote this poem? Whom wrote this poem, friends? It is not passive. So the first one is correct. Next, 30. Advanced mixed question. 31. Choose the correct sentence. Friends, we have to find out the correct sentence. Look at this. Friends, this is the poet and philosopher are good, are dead. Friends, look at this. This is the noun. This is one noun. Philosopher, this is one noun. And for friends, these are common nouns, so obviously we have to use the determiners with it. Only one determiner, the, is used. Friends, it carries the meaning that the person, there is only one person who is poet, and he is also the philosopher. That means one person, two quality. For this reason, we use one determiner. Whenever we use different determiners, suppose here we wrote down the, that means the poet and the philosopher, it means these are two persons. But here you can see there is only one determiner, that means one person. It is two quality of, these two are the qualities, and these qualities are achieved by one person. Here the person who is poet, he is also philosopher, so it is singular, but here it is written are. The poet and the philosopher, here you can see the poet and the philosopher, that means two persons, so it is plural, it is written is here. The poet, philosopher, the poet and philosopher, one person, it is singular, so it is correct. Friends, the poet and the philosopher, plural, verb is also plural, this is also correct. Friends, C and D both are correct. Friends, in exam you will not get these two answers, but as it is written in the question, that is why I discussed both these answers are correct. Next, 32, fill in the blanks. He behaves as though, friends, as though, as if, all these always attract subjunctive mood. That means for this, these are used for imaginary sentences, hypothetical sentences. Whatever the subject may be, all time the subject, the verb will be were. He behaves as though he were the owner. This is the correct answer. Next, choose the correct meaning of a bold from the blue. Friends, it means something. Friends, it means something happens suddenly. Something shocking event happens suddenly. That means expected news. It is not equal. Sudden shock. You can take these one. Sudden shock. Blue colored lightning. We cannot take it. Pleasant event. No, not pleasant event. Any kind of shocking event that suddenly attacks. That is called a bolt from the blue. Friends, that's why B is the correct answer. Next, identify the error. The sceneries of Kashmir are charming. Sceneries of Kashmir are charming. Friends, first thing is that scenery, we cannot write down the plural form of scenery. Scenery is always singular, so we cannot take it in the same way. Actually, it should be scenery and it should be is. Friends, actually, the question is not set properly. In two places, if there is mistake, so it is very tough for us. But the sentence should be, the actual sentence should be, the scenery of Kashmir is charming. Friends, so to B and D, both these parts, there are the mistake. My dear friends, obviously in exam there will be only one mistake in the question, but it is a mistake. It is my mistake. Whenever I have, actually I have taken these questions from ChatGPT, and I have not seen it properly at the time of whenever I have done it. But right now I can understand that there are two mistakes. Some of the questions you can see there are some mistakes. But the fact is that we are discussing everything. So sceneries, it should be scenery, and are, it should be is, because we cannot use the plural form of scenery. Scenery is always singular. Mind it. Next, choose the correct sentence. Friends, it is also hypothetical sentence. Whenever you will see this part, this clause I wish, it means after that the rest of the part, it is imaginary. And for imaginary sentence, it is called present imaginary. For this sentence, for b verb we have, to write down where always. Actually, it is subjunctive mood, and where is the subjunctive. In a subjunctive mood, always you have, always the, in subjunctive mood always the verb is where. For be verb, always it is where, irrespective of the subject. That means agreement is done in tense, not in subjunctive mood. So I wish I were the king. This is the correct answer. B is the correct. Friends, it is was. Friends, you can see it is was. Was is the tense verb. Where is the only subjunctive mood. It is am. It is used in tense. Have been. Have is also used in tense. So this is the subjunctive mood. Fill in the blanks. He succeeded dash by hard work. Friends, succeeded, and for the success, to be successful, it's a long process. Whenever hard labor is going on for a long time, for this relation we use through. So here through will be the correct answer. Next, choose the correctly spelled word. So millennium. Friends, for millennium, we need double L and double N. So this one is correct. Next, 38, select the correct indirect speech. Indirect speech. Friends, here you can see he said to me. Said to me. That means said to, as there is interrogation. So obviously it will be converted into asked me. So asked me, asked me, asked me, told me. Third one is omitted. Friends, now as it is interrogative sentence started with auxiliaries, so we have to use if. Here you can see if. Here it is that there, and in C there is no conjunction. So these threes are omitted. Only A is correct. If I knew him, friends, this is the correct answer. This is the correct answer. If I knew him. For interrogative sentences, we should use if or whether. That is also there. And here you that is the subject, and that will be, as it is second person, it will be changed according to the object, that is me. So according to me, we should write down I. It is correct. And as it is present tense, present indefinite, so it will be past indefinite. That means the V2 form, past indefinite. It is correct. And after that, there is full stop. So the first one is correct. The next question, that is choose the word nearest in meaning, and that is pragmatic. Pragmatic, friends, actually pragmatic means suppose you are solving anything, with practical knowledge or practically. That means you are dealing with anything practically, that is pragmatic. Friends, here it is basically an adjective. And idealistic, it's not idealistic. Idealistic means something constant. That means you are following any kind of idealism. That means you are idealistic. Practical, this may be the answer. That means dealing any subject, dealing anything with practical knowledge or with practical situation, that is pragmatic. For that reason, this one is correct. Friends, emotional means it is mental state. That means showing emotions is not practical, are useless, that which is not in used. So these are not similar. Actually, the similar is quite similar is practical. So friends, the last question but not the least, that is fill in the blank. Not only the students but also the teacher. Friends, not only but also, that is correlative conjunctions. That means before these two part, there must be two different nouns. Here the students, the teacher. Friends, for correlatives, and this is the place of the verb. So for correlate, for the agreement, for subject verb agreement, if you see the correlative conjunctions, so you have to watch which one is close to the verb. So this is the position of the verb, this is the position of the verb, and this part is closer. The teacher, that means the teacher is singular, so verb will also be singular. Was is the correct answer. What is, where is plural, are is plural, have is plural. So this one is the correct. That means not only the students but also the teacher was excited. Friends, this is the correct answer. Friends, I have discussed all the questions according to my knowledge, and I think you can understand each and everything. If you have any doubt, you can write down in the comment section. I will try to solve it. And my dear friends, if you like this video, if you think that it is beneficial for you, please subscribe to my channel and stay tuned. I'll post these types of videos, and obviously you'll be benefited from this channel or from these answers. Friends, thank you very much for watching this video. Thank you.